What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here today to bring you another NFL prediction video, and it is on my Atlanta Falcons. I believe we should hire Lions OC Ben Johnson as our new head coach, replacing Arthur Smith. Now let's get into why. So, if you're not an audio watcher, you're watching the video. You see on the background here, I have my four-star plan for my Falcons this offseason, and we'll get into each star in depth during this video. But so we can get into everything. Let's touch on Arthur Smith and his tenure with the Falcons just really quick. He was the first fired on Black Monday. He was fired, officially around 12:01, 12:02 this morning, Monday morning. It's tough. It's tough, but it had to happen. Me personally, I was even keel on Arthur Smith. I wasn't too high, I wasn't too low. I thought he did an average job at best. His main issues to me was not finding our quarterback, which is tough to do. I understand that. And also just a mismanagement of mainly of our offense. Not getting Kyle Pitts more involved. As I said throughout my YouTube career, I've been on YouTube about 3 or 4 years. I think right before Arthur Smith came into the Falcons, I was like, man, every year I keep saying the same thing. Even now, I don't know if we're going to extend Kyle Pitts long term. I know that we should, but is it a guarantee? I'm not quite sure. Now he had his best year this year. It probably will definitely be that. We'll accept the 5-year, the 5th-year option, all that stuff. But prior to this year, we had no clue what we had in Kyle Pitts. Finally, this year we definitely do. But now we have Bijan. Bijan had a weird year. He wasn't dominant as he should have been. Was it him? Was it Arthur Smith? We'll see how it is next season. But let's talk about that first star. First star, obviously, is addressing our new head coach. Option number one and a clear-cut number one to me is Ben Johnson, Lions OC. He's the hottest head coaching candidate in the NFL. It's probably him battling out with the college coach, as we all know, Jim Harbaugh of the Michigan Wolverines. We'll see if he wins the title tonight. If he wins the title tonight, I will pretty much bet everything that Harbaugh is going to the NFL. It makes the most sense. If he does win versus Washington, they have a good chance. So I think him and Ben Johnson are neck and neck for who's number one as a top head coaching candidate. Obviously, Harbaugh has way more experience, but Ben Johnson's a hot, fresh name who was hot last year also, and that he carried over to another good year for the Lions, and his stock has not took a nosedive or took a hit at all. His stock is still pretty high. Option number two, Bobby Slovic for the Houston Texans offensive coordinator. He did a good job with C.J. Stroud, a good job with not a lot of weapons. I think he's at least for 1 year, he's proven to be a pretty good young offensive coordinator. He's under the Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan tree, Mike Shanahan tree back in Washington all those years ago. Him, Mike McDaniel, Sean McVay, all those guys. So he's under that tree. So I would love to have one of those guys as well, who look like he's the next up-and-coming guy to be as our head coach. But for me, I don't want a defensive coordinator. I don't want a defensive-minded head coach. Sorry, I don't want one. I know some people have told me in my DMs, let's keep Ryan Nielsen as our head coach. I'm good on that. We invested at least so much to our offense. Our last 3 first-round picks, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson. We have to get our offense right. We have to get the quarterback right. So I'm all in on the young guns as our head coach. Ben Johnson, number one. Clear-cut number one. If he's for some reason too pricey or doesn't want to come to the Atlanta Falcons, fine. Let's get Slowick from the Houston Texans. Thing number two, and I'm not really set on this. I would like it to happen, but I'm not ride or die with this. I wouldn't mind keeping Ryan Nielsen as our still current and future defensive coordinator. He had a pretty good year. Coming from the Saints, being under Dennis Allen, he brought over some of the Saints guys last year. The linebacker Ellis brought over Onyemata, the defensive tackle. Overall, the defense was improved. We have a lot of vets, a decent amount of young talent also, second-round pick, third-round picks. So I wouldn't mind seeing Ryan Nielsen. Now I do know Ryan Nielsen stay. I do know, it is rare to see a head coach come in and keep the coordinators. But obviously Ben Johnson probably will play or Slowick will call the plays. So I wouldn't mind, seeing Nielsen. I know it's rare, but I wouldn't mind seeing him stay. But like I said, that's really up for grabs. I'm not really pitching. I'm not gonna hold myself to that. And be like, oh, if he stays, I'm gonna be pissed off. Not really. I know it's rare, but I wouldn't mind seeing. I think he did a pretty good job with what he had. Now the star 3 is where it's gonna get really dicey at for my fellow Falcons fans. Some will disagree with me. We're gonna go to war about this, but let's keep it calm. Let's keep it cool. Star number 3, and if you don't see it, if you're only on audio, let's talk about it. Free agent focus. Bring in a vet quarterback to battle with Desmond Ridder. Now, I've said all year, I am fine with keeping Ridder. Ridder has great moments. He also has some terrible moments as well. But in between that, I think we can find something with Ridder, right? So I've been seeing the talk about, especially on social media since Arthur Smith has been fired, about trading a second-round pick plus a little bit more maybe for Justin Fields. I'm not opposed to it, but Fields is cool. The idea of it is his home state. Went to college there for a year. Everything sounds good. It feels good. We would definitely, as a fan base, for the most part, want Fields. But I just don't trust Fields as a passer just yet. That's just me. And then look, I'm the same person who I said prior to the Fields and Lawrence draft. I said, look, Lawrence is a bust, and Fields is number 1. He's a real number 1. Lawrence, to me, and I've been saying Lawrence will be check my channel out. I've been saying for years, since Lawrence's sophomore year, Lawrence is not generational. That's my first big video. My first video to hit over like 1,000 plus when I was a fresh, brand new YouTuber. Lawrence is not generational, and to me, he's not. But Fields hasn't really proven to be that great either, especially as a passer. And I was like, man, I don't know if I want Fields. Because even if we get Fields, it might not be a long tenured run. Because if Fields struggle and can't do what he should with all these weapons on offense, then Fields is gone a year later anyway. So it's like, why use the assets when we can get better with the younger players who can play right away or who can help us in different areas. So my thing is either go Kirk Cousins, but I said before as well on this channel a few weeks ago, about months and weeks ago on different videos, Kirk Cousins might cost too much. Because Kirk like them 1 year deals for $40 million, $35 million. I'm not spending all that money on Kirk Cousins for 1 year or for 2 years. Kirk is good. I think he will light it up with our offense. But I don't know if I want to overpay for him that much. Let the Titans do it. Let the other teams do it. I'm fine with getting Russ. I'm fine with getting Mason Rudolph. I'm fine with getting Gardner Minshew. And let them have them, or one of those guys, or someone else that I'm forgetting about. Let one of those guys, plus Desmond Ridder, plus Taylor Heineke, battle out a true quarterback competition. Not no fake one and say, oh, whoever we sign, he's the real guy. No. Have a true quarterback competition. Whoever's the best man, no matter what the contract is, no matter what their age is, no matter what, the best man wins. And, look, don't get me wrong. Jordan Goff is definitely talented, former first overall number one pick. I get it. But he's not all that. So I think we can get a Mason Rudolph. We can get a Tannehill. We can get a Russell Wilson and have them battle it out with Desmond Ridder and Heineke and see who really is the best one for Ben Johnson. Then after that, if it don't work out next year for some reason, 2025 draft, go get somebody. Quinn Ewers, Shador, Drew Aller, whoever, the kid from Clemson if he comes out, get one of those guys then, cool. But for this year, no rookie quarterback, right? I want to go with a veteran to battle it out. So you have that. Then you have my other part of the free agency focus also. sign a high-end wide receiver 2 or a cornerback 2, high-end cornerback 2, because Terrell needs help, and also or get an elite pass rusher. So the elite pass rusher is for one, maybe two guys. Brian Burns, if he becomes available, we'll see what the Panthers do with him. They might just keep him, so that's fine there. But Danielle Hunter might be the one that we need. Depends on what the Vikings do with him. There's rumors now coming out just a few days ago about how they wanted to trade up with the Cardinals to get Anthony Richardson. They offered Danielle Hunter and picks to get ahead of the Colts last year's draft to get Richardson, and the Cardinals said no, right? So that's the rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. And I've been making videos for the last year and a half saying that Danielle Hunter's going to be traded, and it didn't happen. So, he's been on the outs with the Vikings for a while now. Kind of weird situation. Do they want him? Do they don't want him? So if we can get Danielle Hunter or Brian Burns or Chase Young plus a high-end receiver 2 or a decent receiver 2, a high-end cornerback 2, whatever, a mismatch, some of those things, I'm happy. I know we can't get high in everything because there's a cap space and we don't have that much money. I think around 50, 60 million if I'm not mistaken. So if we can get my first thing would be a high-end pass rusher. Elite pass rusher first. Then probably a high-end corner. Then we can work about a decent receiver plus the draft on receiver also. So that's my thinking there. But like I said, I think the elite pass rusher first, then the cornerback, then the receiver in that order. But we'll see how everything shakes out as far as free agency goes. But those are my main three keys I want to focus on. Getting better in those three spots. Now, pick number 8. We have the 8th spot as a right. Well, it's set in stone for now. Whether we trade up or down, whatever, probably won't. Eighth pick is in prime spot for who I want, and it's not a quarterback. My fourth and final last star for the offseason, do not draft a young quarterback. Jaden Daniels at pick 8, no. Michael Penix at pick 8, no. J.J. McCarthy at pick 8, heck no. Heck no, no sir. Give me a pass rusher. And lo and behold, I did a video about 2 months, maybe a month and a half ago on my Falcons. I said, hey, my Falcons should go get Layatu Latu from the UCLA Bruins. And around that time doing the video, about a month or 2 months ago, we were in line to have about pick 12, pick 13, pick 14. I'm like, man, we're a little past his range. We know he's probably a top 10 pick. Dallas Turner's probably a top 10 pick. We might got to settle for Jared versus somebody else. We're at pick 8 now. There's a high chance both guys should be there at pick 8. I said in my video, I prefer Layatu Latu, even with the injury history concern he had about retiring a couple years ago, but he was eligible to come back, a year later, whatever. I have no concerns about his injury history. I want Layatu Latu or I want Dallas Turner. For me personally, I'm a Layatu guy. I think he's the best overall pass rusher, but Turner has the upside. He has the speed. He has, he's a guy who's going to be potential base guy. Layatu Latu is going to be a guy who's going to be good from the get-go. And that's the difference for me. I need somebody who's good right now. No potential. He's going to be the same way he's going to be from year 5. He's going to be the same, around the same level now. That's a good and bad thing. There's pros and cons to that. He'd be a little bit better, but I don't see Layatu Latu being that much better from year 1 to year 5. He's going to be consistent off the bat. He's going to be good off the bat. He's going to be overall, solid pass and run defense. Dallas Turner, who's a little more lighter, he's going to be a good pass rusher now, decent pass rusher, okay in the run stuffing. As he gains more weight, gains more strength, gains more knowledge, and if he pans out from his where he's at now to his potential, then he could be, all pro, all that stuff. But we'll see how that goes. But for me personally, I'm a Latu fan. I did a video on it about 2 months ago. I'm sticking with him as my top pass rusher prospect. So I prefer a pass rusher with round 1, pick 8 for our first pick. Now, trading up to get Caleb Williams or Drake May, no thank you. Just wait. Wait. If we don't pan out with quarterback, just wait till next year. Ben Johnson or Slowick will be there long term. There's no rush. So that's my options there, guys. Those are my 4-star plans for hopefully Ben Johnson or Bobby Slowick. But we'll see how everything turns out. That's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.